we can have different philosophies about the oversight of law enforcement, and surely we do. But I happen to believe, as I've said many times, that law enforcement work for the people that they serve, the people that pay their salaries, the taxpayers. And it is illogical that we've set up a system that has not allowed, up until now, people that are supposed to have some type of say in how policing is done in their jurisdictions and some kind of say in how discipline is done. We've not allowed them to participate in that process. And so this section of the bill, to me, is critical. It is only enabling. It only says that if a jurisdiction wants to set up its own civilian oversight entity, that they have the ability to do it. It's not taking away from anything that we've done here, but what it is it's sending a message to the constituencies that we've heard from since September, and that some of us have heard from 10 years or more, and showing them that we are no longer giving deference to law enforcement in a way that keeps them out of the process. I don't find it acceptable that we would strike this from the bill. It's really, frankly, it's appalling. It's absolutely appalling that we've now allowed, in a bill that is labeled the repeal of the Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights, we've now restored all of the things that are unnecessary in the bill, which completely guts the concept of repeal of a Law Enforcement Officer Bill of Rights. This was all about saying that we are no longer going to tell the people of Maryland that we say this one group of people that has the ability in a fleeting moment to kill you like nobody else does, like no other group of people, like not even a judge can decide or a jury, because we don't have a death penalty. We have now said that you can't have any say, if your jurisdiction wants you to, over that disciplinary process. Yeah, I know we allow citizens on a trial board or a hearing board, which is a one little cog in the system, but it is not giving them the great latitude that they ought to have, that they're entitled to. And so, to be honest with you, if you take this out of the bill, I don't think that the bill has very much value. So I'm going to really strongly urge everybody to oppose this amendment.
I thought this is one of the worst provisions in the bill. We spent all this time setting up one system. We heard there were disparate outcomes. We heard the differences, that we needed one system. That's the whole point of the law. We're spending hours and hours arguing over what is the one system. There was an amendment. I was on the losing side. The prevailing side was to go to 2 civilians, 1 officer. That's the system, but now you're talking about, well, that's the system unless the county wants to do another one. And I'd say for all those that want more discipline, you might not get what you want in more conservative parts of the state if they set up their own civilian boards. You may not get the outcome you want. And for those of us, the best way to get a singular fair outcome is a singular fair law. And if you look at the law now, not only is it 2 civilians, and to act as if this does nothing, what we've talked about here, the amendments that I've been on the losing side on this thing, went 2 civilians, 1 police, but not only that, the law takes all the internal, all the administrative stuff the chief does. Chief has total latitude now over that. The board with the 2 civilians is just dealing with the public stuff. And it totally eviscerates collective bargaining, their separate agreements. I mean, this moves it way farther. The act as if this does nothing. This is a crazy section. I have no idea why this is in there that says you all spend hours and hours coming with the state law. By the way, just let the counties do whatever they want. And the idea that you're going to get fair outcomes that way, the idea is that we don't have disparate outcomes. How do you think a civilian review board is going to be the same in Montgomery County as in the same as in Allegheny County and the Eastern Shore? If you want fairness across the board, that's why we're debating a state law for this. A state law for disciplinary actions of officers. We're not, here's a state law that we spent hours and hours debating, but hey, counties, go do whatever you want. I think that is a terrible idea.
Yeah, I would just say that we're not here to make statements. We're here to make public policy. We're here to make wise public policy. not to appease people, but to make wise public policy, not to assuage public anger, to make good public policy. If that assuages anger, that's awesome. If that doesn't, it's wise public policy is what we're supposed to do here. And quite frankly, this provision at the end, I was reading through, the first time I had this bill, I'm reading through it, I'm like, I need some changes. We worked our way through it. I got to the end and I was like, what are you kidding? Are you kidding me? What is this? It was shocking. It was just terrible public policy. So I just totally reject the idea that, oh my gosh, if we don't adopt, this literally makes it a kangaroo court. This literally makes police discipline subject to a kangaroo court, and that's preposterous. So this was really bad public policy. It's got to come out. There's no way we could adopt a provision like this. It undoes everything that we tried to do with this bill, which was to have a uniform, organized, well-structured disciplinary policy that was fair and open and transparent for all police officers throughout this state. And then to pitch it back to the counties and say, now make up something else, is just totally contrary to everything we're trying to do. So, thank you.